Well, jeepers! You're listening to Smash or Pass with JayBee, Millie, and Smash!
Hello, I'm back, finally.
Hey, so it's so good to be back with Smash again. Smash is amazing, and a huge shout out to SpaceX as well, because we finally get to use our kind of proper SpaceLux visual here, which is awesome. We're all in like little Santa hats.
Woo. I love it.
So, in today's episode, we are going to be taking a look at Scooby Doo Haunted Hollywood, which is the first of 2 Lego movies. So, that's really exciting to be seeing a different art style. Before we begin too much though, I know JayBee just wanted to mention that at the end of this episode, we're going to be drawing our giveaway.
Yeah, so that's going to happen.
Ooh.
Really excited. It's for the Spooky Space Kook Funko Soda Chase. Not a lot of entries though. I don't think we've got enough entries to have warranted giving out a chase at this point, so I'm a bit sad, but it's good to have it being distributed through the community, which I'm excited about. So I'm happy to do that, and it's like a little, I guess, a Christmas special thing, right? Like, it's like a little Christmas gift right there. So yeah, that's just a little thing. So stay to the end of the episode if you want to hear who won that.
Indeed. So, for those of you that haven't seen this movie before, or like JayBee and I, or haven't seen it for a while, Scooby Doo Haunted Hollywood is a movie where Scooby and Shaggy win a trip for everybody to go to Hollywood, but the studios have been haunted by one of its most renowned actors. Their kind of spookier, scarier characters are turning up and kind of creating a bit of havoc around the place, to the point where they feel like the studios are going to have to close. Of course, the gang, as always, are kind of like chipping in to try and help save the day, making their own movie, and setting some traps to try and capture, I want to say, as many of these iconic villains from the studios as they can.
Yeah.
Is that good, JayBee?
And it's also important to note that this is our first movie where Kate Micucci is Velma instead of Mindy Kerr. So
Indeed.
Landmark
Didn't
there.
pick up on that.
What, not even watching it?
No, I didn't stand out as a different Velma voice to me.
So that's a
Wow.
positive thing then for you, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
before you were thinking she was like an Alvin and the Chipmunk type.
Oh, it's the Sword and the Scoob one?
Yeah. Kate Micucci. What, you don't believe me?
I'll leave my comments to Sword and the Scoob. And so Smash,
I'm
is this
impressed.
one you've seen many times before?
Yeah, this is actually kind of, I'll say, the movie where I started to like get back into Scooby. I mean, again, not that I ever really left it, but when I went into heart failure in high school, I wasn't as deep into it, but this movie was basically post my heart failure, and so it was kind of when I was able to focus on it more and not stress so much about my life. So this one's fun because it kind of like me re-entering the Scooby-verse here.
That's awesome. And this is 2016, right? So I think I would have been, is it 18?
Yeah.
So I would have been surrounded by about 10 or 12 young honeys at this point. So maybe I was a bit far removed from this situation, but 2016, I like that. And I don't know, I kind of like the idea of a Lego movie because I enjoyed the Lego movie. I thought that was okay.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair to say as well that we've played a lot of the Lego games together, like Lego Harry Potter and that kind of thing.
Oh, there was
those
one
are
that
so
I really
fun.
loved, and I forget it. It's Lego Indiana Jones that I also really like, but there's one that I've forgotten about. It's not Lego Marvel. It's Lego something.
I always really like the Pirates of the Caribbean one.
Oh yes, I don't think I had the console version of that, but I had the 3DS version of that. I think it was like the movie with Penelope Cruz. But I love the Lego game.
Yes.
Which is kind of something that I was a bit baffled about with this movie, that it didn't have a Lego game tie-in. I don't know what consoles were about in 2016. I assume that it was just the PS and the Xbox down from the one we've got now. And in terms of Nintendo, was it Wii U?
It was the Wii U, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just gonna say the closest thing at this time for a like Lego Scooby game was the add-on pack to the Lego Dimensions game that was kind of going on at this time. You could buy it was those Toys to Life games, and Lego made their own, and they made a Scooby Doo pack where you could have like Scooby Doo and Shaggy, and then I think the mystery machine, which could change into different vehicles too, and then like a sandwich or whatever. So that was like the only Lego Scooby game that we've gotten. But I seriously think we need a full-on Lego Scooby Doo video game.
That would be good. I mean, my question was going to be, because I think we've found that with a lot of the more recent movies that they've just stopped creating any kind of merch for specific movies. Do we know if there was a kind of Scooby Lego release at this time?
Yes, actually,
Did you not
Try
know
that
that,
again.
Miller?
Well, I know that there's been a Scooby Lego release because I was looking at stuff like collectibles wise,
Oh, God.
but I didn't know if it tied in with this movie.
So there's like some of the villains, and then some of the sets like showed up in this movie, and like I don't have any of the sets, unfortunately. I have some of the minifigures, some of the villains and stuff. But I remember, I'd have to send you guys a picture, but when this movie originally came out, when you bought the movie, it came with like an exclusive Scooby Doo minifigure that you could only get by buying the DVD. And it's just like, it looks like Scooby's walking more or less, but so I mean there was like semi merch for it, but it was never promoted as like Haunted Hollywood merch, you know.
I'll admit, JB's done a little bit of an eBay search while we've been talking, and there's so much. Like,
Oh my gosh, you can get
so
a
many
Daphne,
scenes from the movie.
a Daphne minifigure for £19.99 plus £1 postage. And I thought the Mystery Machine on the plane were going for like 80. I found like biddings that are like only £20.
Oh no.
Oh, look at that. So you can get the Mystery Machine currently now. 29 plus £3.95. It's got 3 days left, but there's 5 bids. That'll probably go up, but like, this is actually pretty cool. I thought these were wildly expensive.
The
Okay.
sets themselves are kind of more expensive.
I want to do this.
We've just added a new shopping phase for JB that he didn't need help to get into.
Well, no, we haven't, because one of my main
speaking of
things...
getting into things, the movie!
We're not getting into nothing yet. Because one of my main complaints towards the conclusion was, why do a massive advertisement for a product that's simply unattainable? But now in hindsight, it probably isn't. Although that's me with somewhat grown-up money talking. Back in the day, I probably wouldn't have been able to find that. Because no one tells me nothing.
Okay.
So get into your thing now, Millie.
So, the movie is starting with a scared security guard walking down that little alleyway. And what I've put here is, I feel like one thing with Lego movies and Lego cutscenes and stuff from games, they have to over-exaggerate emotion because you can't kind of add it into the faces as easily. So, like, when he's scared, he's like making all these weird noises.
Like, oh.
Like,
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay. Yeah, this is a Lego movie on there.
Yeah.
Although I guess here's what I'll say. It definitely is a different style and feel to the Lego movie. And it is literally just like cutscenes from a Lego game. Like, I think I've seen a movie that was titled Lego Batman. It was a couple of years ago now. But it was literally just the cutscenes from the Lego Batman game kind of mashed together with the odd linking scene here and there. So it's almost like that. But then it makes me sad that there is no Lego Scooby game, because I just feel like these could have fit in between gameplay and you could have got a pretty good game out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see a good game from this. Though, admittedly, when I'd seen this first scene and they've been quite dramatic with the noises and everything, and it was literally like a cutscene, it's a bit like, I don't know that I could watch a full movie of just cutscenes, you know? I don't know that I'm going to get through this one.
I don't know. I mean, it's story above anything, right? I think as long as there's a decent story and there's fun to be had, then that's okay. And I think instantly that's kind of solidified after that kind of cold open, where you've got Matthew Lillard as Shaggy and Frank Welker as Scooby walking towards a lighthouse. Now, first of all, lighthouse, very, very classic setting, I want to say. It reminds me of I guess Captain Cutler, and towards like the end of the bonus features, there's like, I don't know what it's called, but there's some dirty old lighthouse keeper from like a What's New episode that they included.
Yeah, the creepy keeper, the creepy lighthouse
the creepy keeper.
You think I know this, but here we are.
I was going to say, more on the cold opening. We only get to see them for a second, but did you have any kind of thoughts on the villain at that point? We just see like an orange light flash.
Do we see a
So you
jack-o'-lantern?
don't get too much. You kind of see part of it. You see this orange glow and like an eye, like a triangle eye that you'd see in a jack-o'-lantern. So I guess I didn't register much with it, but I just wondered if either of you did.
Maybe Smash.
I mean, my thing was like I already knew what the villains were gonna be, and I think they're on the cover too, and so to me it wasn't like any big surprise. But I will say, admittedly at first, when like I saw this movie and stuff, I was kind of like, the villains didn't really intrigue me. I was just like, oh, cool. But then once I like, really saw like the setting of like, okay, they're on a movie set, so these are supposed to be like, classic monster movie type thing, or classic movie monsters. There we go. That made me a lot more excited because it was like, I don't know, I just really like that idea of like these old movie monsters have like come to life and whatever, and out of the movies or something.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good kind of premise that they were going for. And then my notes kind of pick up where JayBee was talking about the lighthouse scene. It was kind of funny to hear Shaggy picking up on the thing where it's like, would you do it for a Scooby snack? Oh, why does he keep saying that?
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, you finally got here. You finally realised what they do to you.
I mean, them trying to go cold turkey with the Scooby snacks is actually something that initially I thought was a bit goofy, but I think ultimately it's not a big part of the film, but I think it is enough of a different vibe to kind of warrant it being a decent inclusion. I thought it was quite fun.
I mean, I think it's decent in that like it kind of shows that they aren't actually just like Scooby snack addicts because they can manage to do all these things without them.
But what is a Scooby snack? Because I don't know if you could be addicted to something that's cold, right?
You're addicted to chocolate.
I'm not addicted to chocolate. I used to be.
Okay, if there's a bag of magic stars there right now, how quickly would you eat them?
Like 0.2 seconds.
Precisely.
But
So
I think I
let's
could
just
eat
leave that there.
McDonald's nuggets quicker.
So then we kind of see another monster following on from the lighthouse. So they actually haven't wrapped up the mystery before the mystery that we're going to get into. And I'll admit that this is where I was like, another time when I was like, I'm not going to like this movie. Because I just think that it was too obvious. This is going to sound so stupid. It was just Lego. It was a figure that was exactly the same height as them and was quite clearly just a costume. And I know that probably sounds really silly, but like quite often, part of what makes the villains so scary is they're so much bigger than them. They have these claws or something. They look quite ominous. Whereas this was just like a figure that was the same height. Like, I almost want to say, I think it's the What's New intro, where they run into that kind of purple alien looking thing that's the same height as them, and then they turn around and there's the one behind them that's scary. This is like the one where they ran into the thing that's the same height as them. It was just a bit like quite funny.
Yep.
I don't know why. I just was like, if this is the best they can do with a Lego villain, then this is going to be awful.
I really didn't think about it that way because I enjoyed it. I think that the Lego style was dynamic and it was fun, and of course, Frank Welker, Matthew Lillard do a great job, with the voices. But like, I think you're right because I'm thinking if they made this movie today with like stuff like Lego Mario in hindsight, where you've got that massive Bowser, where you've got Mario being like a big chunky version, they probably would have taken more risks with Lego itself. Because I don't know.
True.
Yeah, this is very much just like, even when we get to the zombie, which we'll get onto our thoughts about that later, but even then, that was just a character that was the same height as them. It wasn't this big ominous villain. It was kind of on a par with them. It makes it less kind of threatening.
My thing was like, because I mean, originally, before this movie came out, I was like, how are they gonna do, like the unmasking in Lego form? Are they gonna like pull a head off and another one's gonna come out or something? But then obviously, as we see, they just spin it to the back, and like the person's face is in the back of the head. And I will say that like once they announced that they were gonna do another Lego one, it was having this movie was really like it was fun. This movie is fun, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying like the next Lego movie just felt unwarranted because it's like, well, now we know they can just go up to the monster and spin their head and see who it is.
I mean, how do we all feel about this first unmasking? Because I'll admit that again at this point I was just cringing, like they're just trying to make it too pointedly that it's a Lego movie. Like, okay, well, we're gonna show how you remove a hat from a Lego character. This is how you remove a beard from a Lego character. This is how you spin a Lego head round. It was almost like a tutorial for playing Lego as opposed to a movie at this point to me. JayBee, I know that so far you're probably having different opinions. What did you feel about unmasking?
I tend to disagree with that in that obviously they've done a little bit with the new format of Lego, whether that's removing hair pieces, facial hair or whatever. But I'm almost thinking, not necessarily too much at this point, but if they're gonna do Lego, then do Lego, break things, annihilate things, use that to make bigger and better things, like kind of go crazy with the Lego format. Or I'm asking to myself, why would I prefer watching a Lego Scooby Doo movie versus a regular animation Scooby Doo movie? And ultimately not, like I think to this opening scene, and I think that they don't do anything in this scene that they couldn't do in like the What's New style or the Mystery Incorporated style. And that's fine, but then why Lego? And so if they are going to do a Lego Scooby-Doo movie, I'm kind of saying, let's just do more of that stuff. Let's do more of that wackiness. Let's kind of remind the audience that this is a story that could only be told through that Lego format, or it's just a toy commercial.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly unique, and that unmasking was certainly different. They were certainly, setting the scene that this is Lego. Now, something that I wrote about that I wanted to talk about here was the adaptations of the cast and what they look like in Lego form.
Lego Daphne still looks banging. I'm not kidding. That's the first thing I've written down. She looks great.
I think they all were adapted really well. And I'm going to sound like I'm making a JayBee style comment here, but the skirts were really weird. Like, it was just like the bit where the leg folds that made either red or purple. They hadn't actually made it into a proper skirt. And then, like, we meet some characters later where it's like a proper dress, it's full length. And with this, it's like, okay, they just made it partly purple or partly red.
No. Daphne is the belle of the toy box.
No, you've seen what I meant. Where Velma's almost looks like different, like jagged at the bottom because it didn't line up. Do you remember me pointing that out to you?
Yeah, they were a bit like, I don't want to say that word. I need to because I don't know how else to describe it. Like big frilly knickers.
Yeah, they would certainly look quite frilly, didn't it?
Yeah, that
looked a bit odd.
Or like a reverse shower cap. I don't know how else to describe it. I don't know.
Yeah, it was. The skirts were odd, but other than that, the adaptations were interesting. The only adaptation I didn't like was Scooby.
Oh.
I didn't think it was very Lego looking.
Well, what is Lego though? Because we're saying with hindsight, Lego Mario doesn't look Lego. That big Bowser geezer doesn't look Lego.
No, you're right. In some regards.
There's like big chunky Hagrids.
But to me, Lego is like a character you've pieced together with different parts, right? Whereas Scooby just looked like a figure. Do either of you see what I mean by that?
I see it, but at the same time, trying to make a brick by brick Scooby might be either out of proportion or too scaled down. Like, I think ultimately they want something that they can make and produce and give to people. Like, I don't know. But,
My disappointment with Scooby as an actual toy aspect, not necessarily in the movie, is if you've ever seen one or held one, Scooby doesn't move. You can't move anything on Scooby. He is purely just one piece. And, I mean, I know he is a dog, he's an animal, but it made me feel like they were making Scooby like an animal and not like an actual character within the brand.
oh, see, I do get that because it's a bit. I don't know. It almost makes them a bit of an outlier. And I'm thinking back to previous like iterations of Lego dogs, but I don't know. It seems to be across the board. I don't know if they will ever improve that format. I don't know. Do you know any Lego dogs, Miller? I know
I
there's
don't really
Fang,
know.
right? Lego Fang. But they are just like that again, they're almost that smooth plastic rather than that brick format.
See, to me, I feel like when it comes to toys, I often get not confused between Lego and Playmobil. I know the difference, but with things like dogs and stuff, the two blend. And one thing that I found was, the reveal where they spin the head round? We have the Playmobil minifigures, and they're pretty much the same thing. Like, to reveal the monster, you just spin the head round.
No, I think one day there
Yeah.
will be a Scooby Doo Playmobil movie. That has to be,
I
right?
quite like that.
Like,
Yeah, they're talking about it right now.
without a doubt. And I'm kind of. I don't think I'm there for it in the same way that I would have been like if we had this movie as a Playmobil movie to discuss, and then a next movie as a Playmobil movie to discuss, and then there were like rumors of a Lego Scooby Doo movie. I'd be more excited than I was, than I am now hearing about a Playmobil one. But like I don't know, I just really like the head swiveling thing, at least at the start here, because I just think back to the days where I used to play with the old Lego sets, like Lego Atlantis and stuff, and just trying to find little heads to find different expressions on them. And in fact, actually, funny story. I don't know if you want me to say this, Millie. You know the Lego store in Manchester,
Yeah.
JayBee, Millie.
Yeah.
But we literally went there. There's like this shop, and you can like mix and match to make your own minifigures. And we got
Yeah.
a pack of 3, and we made a JayBee, a Millie, and a Smash.
We did. The only thing is the pieces in that store were very limited.
Yeah.
So to have glasses, I think JayBee had to have a face with lipstick on it.
Yeah.
Smash, you had to have pink hair instead of purple. And I think I had blonde hair instead of brown because there wasn't any kind of long brown hair.
And you were smiling instead of grimacing.
Thanks.
But yeah, a bit of a side tangent there. But one thing I did like about the Unmasking is that they seem to have brought back some of the Mystery Incorporated sound effects and music.
Yeah, this is honestly, I feel like, well, because this is post Mr. Incorporated it, and Be Cool has already started its run, but this was really the movie that I noticed that they started to really lean towards the Mr. Incorporated lore more, and like we even hear Fred mention that they're from Crystal Cove, when they're pulling up to the studio at one point. And so this movie to me is like almost where, like, at least for the movies, like where Mr. Incorporated would have ended.
So I'm thinking almost like it's the same timeline, maybe.
In a sense, in some way, it connects somehow.
I guess it's just every time they're from Crystal Cove, we get that kind of soundtrack. I don't know. I like it a lot though.
Yeah.
I feel like we're at the time now where we kind of started to see the Mystery Machine. So JayBee, what was your initial impressions of the Lego Mystery Machine?
I liked it a lot. Again, though, I was just kind of sat there wishing that it was easy to get, because just going into like local toy stores, you can get like Lego Playmobil Mystery, just Playmobil Mystery Machines. there's like 5, 6, 7 of them in stock at all times. And I'm just thinking I'd love it if it was the same way with the Lego Mystery Machine. But in terms of design and how it's functioned, I really like it, you know. I just think it's a lot of fun. What about you, Millie?
Yeah, I thought it was quite nice. I think, honestly, I didn't think too much of it. Just, yeah, it's the Mystery Machine. It's the design they always try and do.
What about Smash?
I honestly love the Lego Mystery Machine, and I really want one, like an actual one of the sets of the Mystery Machine to build and have. I don't know. I think the Mystery Machine itself really translated well in Lego form.
Amazing. And we'll get onto this a little bit later, or at least I will, because Millie didn't see this. But I actively like took the time out. Not like it's a bad thing against Millie, but because obviously like we're just doing the movies, right? But I always get curious about the bonus features. And one of the bonus features is someone building the Lego Mystery Machine, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So
That's fun.
by the end of it, I was very much simping for the Lego Mystery Machine.
That's quite cool.
But I think all my money is gonna go to Scooby Doo Funkos at this point. I think I'll have to move on to the Lego stuff next year or something.
So the Mystery Machine arrives when we first see the diner. And that's kind of working on the story a little bit. So Scooby and Shaggy have just refused the Scooby snacks. They say they want a healthy meal. So they go and eat about 50 burgers.
Sounds like me.
Win the competition and find out that they're going to Hollywood. So yeah, cue the titles.
And I love these, you know. And I thought I was gonna go into this movie expecting like to not really enjoy it, but I love the titles a lot, and the song is alright as well. But what did you think of the titles initially, Smash?
The titles, like the actual scene itself, I wasn't like hugely impressed. I mean, it was fun seeing them drive around and whatever, but for me, this song, I really like this song during the opening credits, which is, I believe it's called Brand New World. And you know, it's kind of funny, you know, it's a little meta too, because it's like, whoa, first time in Lego form, a brand new world for Scooby and Shaggy and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I enjoyed initially was, I guess you're right, it doesn't really delve too much into spectacle, and again, with it being a Lego, like something set in the Lego-verse, I'm upset in hindsight that they didn't make that car chip wacky, you know, they could have brought other intellectual properties into it, they could have just made it some really cool set piece, but it's a bit simplistic, but again, like you say, the song is wonderful, and I like how it builds up almost a portrait of the character before displaying the kind of actresses name.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is a good time as well to maybe mention the art style itself in terms of landscapes. So one thing that I found with the kind of Lego theme for the backdrops and the landscapes is that it's almost like we were dealing with two things. There was like a Lego fronting, so the characters were Lego and a lot of the pieces were Lego, such as like the food, the lampposts and things like that. But I feel like if you looked at the ground and the backdrop, that didn't seem like Lego.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was almost like the further you got into the image, the less Lego was there. So the floor was pretty normal. The backdrop of like hills and stuff was pretty normal. The buildings were perhaps Lego, but then once you started to look at the details on the buildings, they were definitely Lego, and so were the characters.
Yeah, I guess that's I don't want to say it's typical for Lego, but I think it is getting, it's got that way for a while now. Even like the Lego Batman game when I used to play that, a lot of it was kind of non-Lego, and the only things that were Lego were things that you could either break to get those little stud pieces or to unlock, you know, hidden characters. I do kind of wish that they'd gone more Lego, but at the same time, maybe they wanted to make it more familiar to audiences that just picked this up thinking this is just going to be some fun Scooby-Doo thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I mean, I guess if you're on 2 Scooby-Doo movies a year, you don't exactly have time to do that level of detail.
No, although it would have been cool if they tried to do this in like stop motion animation or something. That would have been really, really interesting. And in fact, maybe I want to say I would have preferred that, but in hindsight, possibly not.
Okay, so then they're arriving at the studios. As you both said before, they say they're from Crystal Cove, so we've got that Mystery Incorporated link. And then they start to hear from that guy about the same stuff going on. So this is the person who kind of switches between every role. What did you think of? Yeah, Junior. What did you think of him?
I thought he was awesome. Like,
Yeah,
I think it would have been so easy for him to be annoying, and maybe the first second he was on screen, I was annoyed at them. But I think what won me over was when they stopped off in the throughout the tour and started playing like all these kind of side characters, kind of just exemplifying like how overworked they were, but also how enthusiastic they were about it. So I did enjoy them quite a bit, more than I expected to, based on like the first time going, oh, I guess this is just gonna be the hokey security guard.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think I agree with all of that. I mean, Mash, what did you think to Junior?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. At first, I was like, ugh, I'm not gonna like this character. You know, he's the one that's like, we have to save the movie studio. We can't let anything happen to it. And I was just like, oh boy, I can't do it with him. But you know, I mean, as you guys said, he won me over time.
Yeah, I mean, I think I started to like them more as soon as we meet the next two characters, so the producer and Articus Fink.
Yeah, I struggled with the names. I put Chet, right? Is it Chet and Atticus? And I said Atticus has the same hair as Lego J. Jonah Jameson. And Atticus seems rude. That's all I've put. But then I guess they go, and again, another fact to the bonus features, which I'm not sure if you guys will know, but they arrive at the Grimsley Mansion. Now, I interpreted this when we were watching through as it was the set of a movie, or maybe it wasn't the real Grimsley Mansion, but it was like a prop or something.
Yeah, that's what I got.
But in the bonus features, there's like a bonus 15-20 minute Lego Scooby animation, and it's set at Grimsley Mansion, I think.
See, I wrote this down to ask Smash because I think as Velma says, we've been to Grimsley Mansion before and we didn't see any zombies.
And they solved the mystery.
So is this part of a continuity that I've just overlooked? Because I can't think of an episode with the Grimsley Mansion.
So that like little short film thing, which is like Nighttime Terror or something, that short came out before the movies, and they actually made that short as kind of like a test to see how well Lego Scooby Doo would do. And I think they aired it on Cartoon Network. But yeah, that's it's one of those like things where if you saw that previously, then you'll kind of get the reference, but otherwise, you know, people are gonna think that it's like from an old episode or something.
Yeah.
It was just so cool to have almost the concept of them producing short prequels to these films, because that's ultimately what it reads as. And I'm almost wondering, like, if there are any other movies that we've kind of watched before that could have benefited from small little prequel episodes that would have added, I don't know, maybe it would just do nothing more than to just fill in the gap of like references that weren't based on actual things. So for example, was it The Sword and the Scoob, when there's like a joke about Daphne visiting a place and then she dyes her hair blonde and that leads to the locals thinking she's a fish monster or something? It's something weird like that. Maybe it would just be nothing more than we just get to see that instead of hear about it. But I think the concept is interesting.
Certainly. So while they're on this little studio tour is when they first bump into the Headless Horseman monster. What did you think, JayBee?
I think it maybe is the answer to what you were saying about the kind of lighthouse like zombie thing, in that with like instantly having a villain that is on an animal in this universe, instantly makes them imposing and taller than the other minifigures.
Yeah, and I even think that just that bright glowing light as well makes it less human and stuff. So to have
Yeah.
that horse, the extra level, and the light, yeah, it makes it more intimidating.
So that's kind of it. I'm not a big fan of the more humanoid monsters or villains, but I did think it was interesting how they were kind of a throwback to the classics, and also, like you say, it had like a vehicle built into it, essentially. I like that.
So I have a
True.
question for you here, I think, JayBee.
Oh no.
You know the Playmobil range that we've collected for Scooby? There's the Headless Horseman.
Aye.
Is that based off this movie?
I believe so. I think it's even in one of the bonus episodes again, which was, I don't know what it's called. I wrote it down. Maybe Smash. Well, no, but it's.
The reason I'm
I didn't
asking
even
is
write
just
it down.
the reason
but
I'm
it has
asking
Scooby Doo in it.
it's just because there's the mummy coming up as well, and that looks like one of the Playmobil figures. This looks like one of the Playmobil figures, and I was almost just like, are they just reusing villains, or is it that Playmobil's kind of stylized off it a bit?
Apart from the Headless Horseman, I don't know. I mean, any mummy can be
Similar
a
looking.
mummy, right?
Yeah.
And equally, any zombie can be a zombie. I think the only one to know for sure is the Headless Horseman, because I think it's dressed so similar
Yeah,
as well.
the kind of like orange light and stuff.
But I don't know.
So with that, we are up to.
That guy shows up, he gets a little headache.
I was gonna say they were blind. They're kind of Headless Horseman's blinded by the light, and that kind of surprised me because it was like I imagined when they threw the light on it, it was just gonna like disappear.
Why? Oh, like a hologram?
Yeah, it was kind of like, okay, there's got to be purpose to them shining the light on it, but it didn't disappear. It just ran off. And to me, if they're studio lights, then actors are looking at them all day. So it's not going to be that effective.
But is it an actor? Because it's meant to be
It's
that.
not an actor, but like, I
guy.
still feel like if someone can manage to work under those lights, it's not going to madly blind somebody.
Maybe not, but it is in the dark.
Especially not when they're in a pumpkin that's already fully illuminated.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Okay, could it have stunned the horse though?
Well, Velma says that this guy's blinking so much because he's just been blinded. So it's supposed to have affected them.
Yeah, true. I didn't. Well,
But they're
you're
literally
ruining my
in
childhood.
like a glowing pumpkin.
No, you're ruining my childhood. I don't like this.
What do you mean your childhood? You
How
only
dare
saw
you.
this for the first time 24 hours ago.
A lot's happened.
He's grown up so much since then.
I'm different now.
Okay, and then we are moving
He's seen
on
things.
to the, again, kind of more of Atticus Fink. So it turns out that they want to buy the studios, and I want to say it's in Scooby Natural where the make a joke like it's always the creepy realtor or something.
Oh, and we spoke to that creepy realtor. Link in the description down below.
So yeah, like so I feel like just after listening to that and doing that interview so recently and everything, as soon as there was a bit of a creepy realtor, it's like, oh gosh, it's gonna be them.
What is a realtor in real life?
Somebody like buying and selling
Is it like
land,
an
right?
estate agent?
Yeah, yeah.
Or a landlord?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
you'd say an estate agent, yeah.
Are they creepy?
I'd say Atticus Fink is quite creepy, yeah.
That's a shame. I had an Atticus in my year, and
Of course you did.
he was a actually he was a bit of a I don't know. But Atticus Finch is one of the more famous Atticuses, and they're good. So maybe I had too much trust in this guy. But to me, he almost seemed too red herringy, like a bit too rude and unpleasant to actually be the monster.
Yeah, I mean, like, instantly it was like, oh, I'm not paying that. Why do you think I'd want to buy this? And it was like, oh, gosh. He's just created these villains to, like, bring the price
Yeah.
even further down.
To get a sweet deal. Imagine if that worked in real life, though. You could dress up as something like we want to buy a house, right? So say if we found a house and it was, say, 200k and our budget was 120k, we could like dress up like a zombie and just haunt the neighborhood. So the neighbors are like, oh, sod this. This is a bad place to live. And they all just jump ship. In fact, we'll try it. What monster do you want to be, Millie? Tell me.
Maybe a zombie, why not?
Yeah, what can I be? I'll be like the ghost of Aladdin or something.
Okay, so the gang are like trying to get involved, like, oh, we can help, we can do it. And then we learn that the studio's kind of turning into filming romantic movies. And they go over to take a look at the set of one of those movies. So this is where we see the horseman again.
The horseman. The
That's what the
centaur.
horseman. The headless horseman person. Pumpkin.
Oh, this is weird.
And they're like destroying the set here, right?
I should check on IMDb. Maybe like Smash knows, or Millie, maybe you paid attention to the end credits. But I almost figured out that it was Atticus in that the headless horseman's laugh sounded like Atticus's voice. And so I'm thinking, if the voice for Atticus also voiced the headless horseman, that's kind of a bit of a giveaway. But
Yeah.
I don't know if they did. I just thought they
I
sounded.
can't remember.
I will hurry and look up. I don't know off the top of my head.
It's just strange. I don't know who voices Atticus in the first place. I didn't really pay like. Sometimes I like to pay attention to the other voice cast, but
JayBee Blanc.
oh, JayBee.
Yeah.
Holy moly!
Was you, JayBee?
It was a JayBee all along. Wait, can we interview that? I'll try afterwards.
So something that I think is a common theme is like, as well, this is one of the first times in this movie that Fred saves the day. Isn't this where they use almost like the fire extinguisher or something?
I kind of forget. I don't know.
They certainly kind of get rid of, I want to say, the pumpkin person. And all the kind of cast and director and everything decide to quit the movie because of what just happened, and they decide to cast Shaggy instead. I want to say that at this point, kind of said that I'm really not liking what they've done with Daphne's character in this movie at all. They've just made her look so simple and so basic, because they're like, okay, we need to cast somebody who's like beautiful, and she's there doing hair flips to the point where her head's flying off and stuff, which again I think is just overdoing the Lego character thing far too much.
But forgive me for saying so, right? I disagree in that if it's the gang and they want an attractive person to be the lead, who else is going to be hair flipping?
Okay, then why did you feel the need to hair flip if she was that confident? I'm like,
I just think I would,
goes.
unless it's flipping Robbie M. Alfred, it's Daphne.
It goes beyond that though. Like when she's with, I'm trying to see where I've written the character's name. When she's with Driller, and Driller's like, look, this is what you need to do, and she just keeps falling flat on her face.
Our Driller.
It's like Daphne has never been this stupid. Why have you made her this stupid?
We don't
Like
know.
they've shown Daphne in some bad lights. They have. But this is ridiculous.
But
She's falling flat on her face every 2 minutes. She'd have a broken nose by now.
To be fair though, if it's, and they do play it for laughs admittedly, like when like Drilla asks if it's been her lifelong goal to be an actress, and she said, yeah, ever since I won the competition 2 days ago. So it is for jokes. But like if it was my life goal to be an actor and I suddenly found myself on a movie set, I think I'd be doing all I could to like impress the casting director to get a role, even if it's an extra. Like I would be doing not similar things, obviously, because I couldn't play the kind of hunky hero anymore, but I could definitely play like a funny side character.
I just think that they made her look stupid and it didn't need to happen.
But I think all this could have been avoided if they cast her as the main role, which I think they should have done, because that's what I would do.
So, this is the point as well where they cast Driller as Shaggy's love interest. Now, this again, I went into this episode loving this movie, and then I've decided in this episode that I'm going to annihilate this movie. I hated when Driller was like, I want a new hairstyle, and they just kept lifting her hair off.
I like that though.
I was like, I know it's a Lego movie, but come on, we understand it's a Lego movie. What are you trying to prove?
I just thought it was like quirky Lego stuff, right? I don't know. I'm like they're doing something that they really couldn't do in the regular animation, besides maybe just putting a wig on them, which again would have had the same effect. But that's where I'm kind of going back to that thing that I said at the start. I would want it to almost be more Lego.
I mean, Smash, what do you think at this point? The hair switching thing, like, too much Lego, not enough Lego?
You know, it's a hard balance because, like, there's a point of having fun that it's Lego, but then there's also a point of, okay, this whole movie is just marketing, you know, like a huge commercial for Lego. And I like when the characters got scared and like their hair pops off for a second or something. I thought that was cute and whatever. But I don't know. I'm in the middle of this because, you know, I think it's a fun idea of like swapping the hairs out and whatever, but maybe not as long or something. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. You know, I'm in that weird in between.
See, I do feel sorry for Smash because I've just been like, this is my opinion, and JB's just been like, this is my opinion. And you're like the judge in the middle, are like, fine then, Smash, what do you think? Which one of us is right?
Actually, this is grossly unfair, to be honest, because the last 2 episodes we did, we had to fill in, right? And they were the most. We were so civil with that because we agreed on the same thing. Whereas we're like polar opposite opinions of this one, and it's like, Dad, which one of us is right?
Which kid's right? Which kid's your favorite?
That's what happened.
Oh shoot! What's the line from Wizards of Waverly Place? Something like, "I love you all equally, just not at the same time."
Yes, that is the line.
Oh gosh.
Oh
I
god.
don't know what I'm doing. Why? See, this is your fault, Millie. This is your fault.
Okay, so
Daddy loves me the
next
best.
recording. So they've started recording the movie. Fred's directing. Shaggy's doing some weird little accents. We've got Velma hanging from a drone, which, to be fair, I found quite funny.
Are these accents offensive?
Because I feel like Velma hanging from a drone is very anti-Velma. She's like old books in the library, not new technology and flying.
Oh, it reminded me of that. I don't know if Smash made this TikTok or shared this TikTok, but it was like one of the moments, the adult moments in the kids' movie that you never realized, and it was when Velma was levitating, and Daphne sees something, and then she just goes, "This just gets better and better."
Yeah, that was me. I made
That's
that
worrying.
TikTok.
And it just reminded me of that, just seeing like Velma just suspended in the air. I'm like, oh, memories. What else? Okay,
Well, this is when the mummy comes in and starts to destroy the set.
but why?
And again, why am I did go into this thinking that I was going to say that this movie was a smash. And ever since I've started talking,
Don't do it.
I don't think that anymore. So I feel like they destroyed the set just to prove it's made of Lego.
Oh, don't.
Every time they hit something, it goes from looking like a normal backdrop to
No.
10 pieces of Lego falling.
No, they wanted to
wasn't so
destroy the
clear.
set. How else would they have destroyed
No, because it wasn't so evidently Lego before they destroyed it. It was like they had a plastic board, and the second you touch it, it spills into Lego. Come on, please tell me you saw that. It was hilarious.
If it looked tangibly Lego all
It
throughout,
didn't
I
look
think the
tangibly
movie,
Lego throughout.
if it did, it wouldn't look as good. They made it like a cutscene up until the point where they had to get dynamic with it. Like, it's a Lego movie, and this person wanted to destroy the set. How else would they have done it? Got a blowtorch and like smelted the plastic?
No, all I'm saying is if you hit a brick wall, it's not going to turn into pieces of Lego.
Yeah, but if
So
it is Lego,
you
it
hit a
will.
wall that doesn't look
Have
like
you
it's
played the
made out
Lego
of
games?
Lego.
Lego Incredibles, you do that all the time.
How does the Lego not break then? The Lego pieces don't break. They just fall apart as perfect Lego
Because that's what
pieces.
happens in the Lego universe. You get then little bits of Lego floating on the ground.
Well, isn't that convenient? It'd be really easy to rebuild.
Yeah, exactly. They start jumping about, and sometimes you have to press like the A button or the B button. Your little arms go flying, and you can build something else with it.
Look, for someone who wasn't allowed to watch animated stuff, this is just a bit too far, okay?
Yeah, did you ever play with Lego?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I just thought that Lego was too small. I used to like my doll's house.
Was it a hard knock life?
Okay, so when it is destroyed, the gang like separate off.
This is bull.
Daphne goes off with DeLisle to what she describes as this large dressing room, and that's where she starts the acting lessons. And this is like, I've just put like the bully Daphne's character. I feel like this is another example of what I was saying before. I just feel like they've messed up with Daphne's character here.
I do feel bad for her. Because she's such a stunning character, and she's so strong in terms of like keeping the gang together. And they do have this occasion of making her into a bit of a caricature. And I don't appreciate it. But in this instance, I think she's in the right, because she should have got the main role. And I don't think there's any other reason why she didn't, apart from not making conflict necessarily, but I guess a punchline to fill the time. I don't know. I don't really see why she wasn't cast as that kind of... But then that would have put Daphne and Shaggy as a couple, which I don't think that they'd want to do. I mean, they kind of delved into that a bit in Mystery Incorporated, but I don't know if that's why she wasn't cast. But
Well,
then
it
again,
just means
you
they
could have made...
cast another guy instead of the vampire lady.
Yeah, or you could have cast Shaggy as the director and then had Fred as the love interest and Daphne as like the kind of Wicked Witch role. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you also have Shaggy and Scooby pairing off in the wardrobe department, and I quite like Shaggy, and I guess it's Matthew Lillard's kind of voice for the policeman thing.
Oh yeah, that was good. What was it meant to be?
good.
Scottish? Like, you bad gum.
Do your voice again.
No, I'm not doing it again. It was though, wasn't it? That was his. He was like
Good.
Mr. Goon, PC Plod. But I think he must have had a really good time recording some of these lines because they are just fun. And I'd like to do accents one day. Not here though. But one day. I think that'd be my main job. I want to be a voice actor.
And then the remaining kind of link is Fred and Velma, which I know JayBee you said a couple of episodes ago you thought was something that wasn't explored enough. So I guess was this refreshing for you?
Nah.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't. It was nice to see them interacting. I just don't think that they interacted in such a meaningful way. I liked how in the Kiss movie, like Fred's getting a bit insecure, and Velma's the one to comfort him because that just proves that she's being a good support unit for him. Which can work both ways, but here they're just kind of having a conversation, and you know, it is what it is. You'd expect them to have conversations from time to time.
Yeah. Okay, so then I guess they get back to set, they're recording, and they want to start doing the stunts. And Fred's like, "Oh, you're one of my closest buddies. I'd never put you in danger," to Shaggy, which is obviously meant to be quite hilarious for the audience because every time there's a trap, he's the live bait.
Yeah.
Oh, we're there already. So is this the stunt? Yeah, it's not a cannon, is it? Is this with the plane?
Yeah, it's where they first bring the plane in. So yeah, they're like, "Oh," he's like, "Don't worry, Shaggy, I'd never put you in danger. Scooby, you're the stunt person." And it's like, "Isn't it? He one of your closest buddies too?" I was like, "Yeah, that's why he's got a helmet."
Is this in the scene when they're outside now? They're in like an outside set.
I think this is what it's still kind of like an indoor set, right? Where
Well, it's
there's
indoor,
kind of
but
like
it's
a
made to look
castle.
outside.
Yeah.
And that Druella
Is in the castle out of the way. So yeah, there's a stunt plane, and this is where we see the zombie and the headless horseman together for the first time.
Yeah, so that proves that it's more than one person.
Yeah.
Again though, seeing Scooby like swoop in on that plane, I'm just going back to really, really wanting a Lego game now. And I think that my dreams are over because this came out in 2016. They would have made one by now. And if they're not making the Lego sets anymore, then clearly their deal with Lego has gone. And so maybe this is just one of those other things like the third live action movies that are just in the multiverse that we'll never see.
So
yeah, in some alternate universe. It's got to be there somewhere.
We should go.
one thing I want to point out is that the zombie costume was a bit flawed. I don't know if you noticed, but when the zombie turns around, it's got 2 buttons at the back of its head where it's clearly a mask. It's kind of like the Whisperers from The Walking Dead. It's clearly just a mask. Did you get that reference,
Yeah, I
JayBee?
did. What?
You just sat there. So
I was in awe. Why would you? That's a dark place to go. But I see what you mean. But I think what I don't know. I liked it a lot because it was almost something that I just noticed. It wasn't really drawing attention to. It was just, oh my gosh, there you can see that it's definitely not supernatural, and that's kind of it. But here's an interesting one, right? And this is gonna blow the mind of many people. If this isn't supernatural, right? If this isn't a supernatural threat, could you argue that it is because they're Lego figures roaming around, talking, and having adventures? That doesn't happen in the real world or the Scoobyverse. I think the haunted
It just
Lego
did
people,
happen in the Scoobyverse.
I reckon I could argue to someone that this is a supernatural Scooby Doo movie.
Unlike those people, I'm choosing not to listen.
Well, Toy Story, is that paranormal?
No.
Is that supernatural?
No,
It is.
it's really not.
Well, okay then. If I went out of this room right now, would that KK Slider Build-A-Bear start jamming?
You don't know that because you're not in the room.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Okay, moving on, JayBee. Thank you for that bit of information. I put the dodgy guy tries to get studio cheaply. So I believe this is me just insulting Articus Fink again. But ultimately, you know, the owner's just like, okay, fine, I'll sign it, but I've got time to say goodbye. And Junior's obviously really sad that they've signed it. And everyone kind of meets up outside, and I think, is it Velma that does the inspirational speech? Like, do you know what, Fred? You're a great director. You're great at directing traps.
Yeah.
And I think, is that where he swaps his hair over quite relatively comically?
Yeah, it's like it's time to stop being Hollywood phonies and start being mystery solvers. He like whips off the beret and puts his normal blonde hair back on.
And then Shaggy and Scooby are like, the show must go on, and do like little jazz hands before we get our next musical montage.
Oh, what was this one? Because I think this one was good as well.
I can't remember the song, but they're kind of setting up the trap ready and like breaking down some walls and stuff.
Oh,
I literally can't remember the song.
Did the wall breaking satisfy you this time, Miller? Or did it annoy you?
It was what it was.
What, you Lego?
Yeah, Lego.
I think this was awesome. And again, I can see the element to it where it is to sell the toys, and that's why there's the need for the Mystery Machine playing, right? But I think it works well. It doesn't work terribly.
Yeah, it's good. It's fine. It is what it is. And then they start to execute the plan. So the zombie follows them into the haunted house. They kind of meet the horsemen in that room where they're trapped. And then they kind of separate up again and trap the horsemen in a separate area. Then there's the 2 drillers, one of which is Daphne. Do you have any thoughts on the driller Daphne, JayBee?
I thought she was fantastic.
Great. And then
I found another Funko Pop I want. You know, I always try and come up with concepts. Okay, so we're at that shop in Blackpool, okay? If you live in England, you know that it's the worst place in the country. But they do brick by brick versions of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. As a tie-in to this Lego movie, they should have done brick by brick versions of the gang. And I'd want a brick by brick version of Daphne.
Of course you would. Okay, so we then see the kind of Mystery Machine plane, which I think is a really cool adaptation, because obviously we saw them setting it up in that little montage, so it's quite cool that it's got the like Mystery Machine flowers and everything on it. That's cool. They use it to trap the zombie, and one thing that I want to say that I like about this part of the movie is that it's the most inclusive trap they've ever had. Normally it's just Shaggy and Scooby are the live...
people of colour in there as well?
Not quite what I was meaning. Normally, like, Shaggy and Scooby are the live bait, the others stand by and watch, whereas with this, everybody had their part. Which...
I am brown, by the way, before anyone gets upset. I am a brown person. I'm not just being weird.
But yeah, like, everyone
Right.
seemed to have their part. Like, Shaggy and Scooby led them into one room, Velma led one into another room, then Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby each led them off in different directions. Daphne was one of the drillers. Scooby came in on this plane.
Oh.
Everyone had a part to play. It was the most involved I think we've seen everybody.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
Okay.
Not just the shag work.
So it's the works.
The works.
The mystery ain't guy. Scooby.
So once they're caught, we have the unmasking, and I personally think the unmasking of Atticus Fink it's a bit too... I don't like it when they play on it being a Lego movie. Like, you know when they try to unmask him and his head comes off with the thing?
Oh,
I don't know why I didn't
fun
like
Lego
it.
stuff. It's fun Lego shenanigans.
I just think it was too played on the fact that it was Lego. Like, we've seen the box. It says Lego on it. We already know. We saw the silly like hair swaps and stuff. Like, I understand it's Lego.
But if there were no Lego quirks and it was just Lego cutscenes, would you not be sat there thinking to yourself, let's just have this movie in the style that we're used to?
No, it was fine. Okay, do you have any thoughts on the Atticus Fink unmasking, Smash?
You know, my thing...
Is the parent in the middle again?
All right, kids, here's my 2 cents. Sit on opposite sides of the room.
Yeah,
My thing with this is I don't like when they literally have like 2 or 3 other characters besides the gang, because then it's like I just feel like it's super obvious who it is, or it's really easy to figure out. And I don't know, this was one of those where it was just like, well, we all could have guessed that, you know, pretty easily. And if you didn't, then like, were you watching the movie? Or
yeah, if you didn't suspect Atticus Fink, you've missed the movie. JayBee.
So I don't know. I mean, it is what it is, but it's just like one of those, well, you know, I could have told you this as soon as they got on the Hollywood studio. So here we are.
I thought it was funny that they caught the villains in the dead of the night and they like wait till like the brightest time of the morning to unmask them. So they were just there all night, just in their masks tied up.
Yeah. And then we get Junior unmasked, and they decide to let them go because he's the son of the man of 999 faces or whatever. I don't like that. I don't really like the thing where, like, if someone's found guilty in Scooby, that they're let go so easily.
Yeah.
Like, for all he's not, he's a kid, okay? They had motivation, they had their motives, they had their reasons. But, like, they did a lot of damage to different sets and things like that. They, you know, they played their part in scaring people off. They were one of the main, like, I guess if we're saying that they're both 50% accountable, then, you know, people lost their jobs through running out of this place. Another person, like, nearly had to sell what it was they were, like, trying to fight for. A lot of damage was done, really. So just for them to be like, oh yeah, you're fine, you can go, and then they scream on the red carpet that it's okay to be a monster, it's a bit like, ugh. Don't know how I feel about it. JayBee, how do you feel about it?
I agree with that one, actually. I think it was a bit ridiculous how they were just let go because of, I guess it almost made it seem like nepotism in a way, that because they were related to this famous person, they were let off.
Yeah, like, oh, don't worry about it, we understand you're upset, it's fine.
And it's like, well, what if they weren't related to that famous person? They just wanted to see the movie. Like, they wouldn't be going, "Oh yeah, you've got the talent to take over." It would just be like, "What? Go to prison then?" Like, yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so then as I was starting to mention there is the premiere of the movie where they've all helped to create. Everyone kind of turns up. They've got like their little not Playmobil, Lego dresses on and stuff.
Daphne looks gorgeous at that premiere. Like, is that a minifigure, that movie premiere version of Daphne?
And then Shaggy and Scooby turn up in their aeroplane.
Oh, I like that.
Just
yeah.
following on from what JayBee says.
That was good.
It lowers the tone. And that's when they decide to start Scooby Snacks again. Like, it's like, hey, Scooby Snack for an autograph. You tried that when you met Matthew Lillard, JayBee.
What, I just like show up
Yeah.
some dodgy bacon?
Save like £50 and be like, hey, here's a Scooby Snack, sign this.
Look at that. Just imagine just rocking up to a con with like just dodgy baking. You just put it in front of this poor guy.
Some
Like,
dog biscuits, like, here you go.
Yeah.
Take
That would have
it.
been ridiculous. Oh, someone's got to have done that though once, right? Like rocked up to see Matthew Lillard or Frank Welker with a dog biscuit to sign. Someone's done that. Like if we were talking to Peter New and someone got him to sign a Big Mac burger, then someone's definitely got them to sign a dog food.
Maybe.
Oh, I'm gonna ask if anyone knows. Comment below, because if it's on eBay, I kind of want it. That's all I'm gonna say.
So, I think that concludes my notes on this movie. JayBee, anything else to add?
Oh crud. No. Just at the end of a selfie, and then I've got loads of notes on bonus features that I'm gonna run through. But that's my conclusion of the movie. I'm good.
Okay, Smash, anything else to add about the movie?
Not really. The only thing that I guess I can add is that Drella was voiced by oh shoot, she just left my brain. What's her? Elvira. There we go.
Oh.
Drella is voiced by the actress that does Elvira, which is funny because then in Return to Zombie Island and Happy Halloween Scooby Doo, she is able to come back as actual Elvira.
Wait, is Elvira not Elvira?
No, that's not her real name. That's her stage name.
I thought that was her, like her real self.
No, her real name's Cassandra, and the hair that she wears is a wig.
Oh, mad. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Do
What
you
if
want to
Daphne's
talk
wearing a
about...
wig?
Maybe.
Who knows?
What if Daphne's not her real name?
Well, actually, I've got. Actually, I'm gonna save that actually. But what were you gonna say, Mel?
Do you want to talk about your bonus features before or after
Oh
we
well,
decide?
I think afterwards because
Okay.
it's not a reflection of the movie itself.
So, as always, JayBee, we are starting with you. So, Scooby Doo Haunted Hollywood, first Lego movie, are we saying smash or pass?
So I think I'm gonna be a bit of a dark horse with this one. Because I really like this movie, right? Maybe it's because like the week has just been awful. Maybe I just needed something lighthearted to kind of pick up my spirits, right? But I actually had so much fun with this movie, from the song choice, the kind of Lego style, how dynamic everything was, and even like Kate Micucci's Velma sounded a lot more like the Velma from, you know, her portrayal in Be Cool Scooby Doo, which to me is my favourite portrayal of Kate Micucci's Velma. And so, I don't know, there's not much that I can think about with the movie that this is wrong, that's wrong, and this is what I don't like. It's just a thing where I would happily watch this again a few times just to make myself feel a bit happy, because there's nothing really heavy that's going on. It's just pure fun from start to finish. And so to me, this is a smash. Is it you now, Millie?
Yeah.
Oh god. Right. What would you smash or pass? Lego Scooby Doo Haunted Hollywood.
Okay. So, I've made no secret of the fact that I think there's a lot of, I want to say even goofy scenes, like the Lego thing been a bit overdone, but ultimately I think the Smash or Pass rating's based on do you want to watch it again when it comes down to it. So for that reason, I'm going to say that this movie is a smash because I do want to watch it again. It was really quite fun and I did enjoy it. So yeah, I would personally say that this one's a smash. So Smash, what about you? Would you say that this movie is a smash or pass?
Yeah, so this movie, I remember it was announced. I was like, ooh, exciting. You know, like Lego version of Scooby. And actually, fun fact, this was the first Scooby movie that I was able to get on Blu-ray at its release. And because I had just gotten a Blu-ray player for my birthday previously before this movie's release. But yeah, I honestly find this one enjoyable. I would say it's nothing crazy. It's nothing to be like, oh my gosh, have you seen the Lego Scooby movie? But it's, in my opinion, better than the next one that we'll do, the next Lego one, but we'll get into that. So I'm gonna say I definitely will smash this one.
Wow. Okay, so I'm surprised at that. I was thinking I was gonna be the only kind of champion for the movie, but I'm glad I'm not. I'm glad I'm not. Now, have you taken a look at any of the bonus features, Smash?
If I have, it's been a long time because I don't remember.
So I guess briefly, someone's building a mystery machine, which is fun. They also like do a little bonus section where they build a pumpkin. Oh, this is the one though that I was really excited about. So I don't know if this is the case, but there's this section called Sleuthing Secrets, and there's a guy called Jim Craig who they like sit down and talk with, and in his house, I assume it's his house, maybe it is a set to be fair, but there was the Black Knight ghost helmet from the second live action Scooby Doo movie, and the head of the Lunar Ghost. And it's like, is this, I don't know if anyone knows anything like this, maybe I'm just appealing to the comment section for this one, but if they want to comment below if that's the known current owner of the Lunar Ghost, then let me know, because I want to find this dude. I want to interview them, because the Lunar Ghost costume, I know it's out there in like circulation. That's like my main thing to own one day, because I want to put it on a mannequin in a display case. I want to make it look amazing. So I don't know if you know anything about that Smash, but I don't know, that really excited me about this section.
So Jim Craig is actually a producer of Scooby Doo. I really don't know what I should say. He's a great guy. He really is, and he loves Scooby Doo. But let's just say that, without being too obvious, he's the reason some things haven't happened in Scooby Doo. And I'm not bitter, but I'm bitter. It's fine. But he's on Twitter. You guys could reach out to him. He responds most of the time that I see, so maybe we could talk to him and see if he, if that is like the actual one from the movie or whatever. I'd be really interested in the Black Knight helmet. But yeah, he's just a huge Scooby fan that luckily gets to make decisions on Scooby Doo.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know how much I can say. No, it's not like a massive secret. I just don't want to like be in conversations and then like spill stuff out. But there's a member of the Scooby community that I believe has looked into or has been made aware of an auction price for the Lunar Ghost costume.
Oh gosh.
And at the time I think it was declined because it was around the region of $5,000. But like, I think one day I'm gonna have to go for it. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I think I may be directly face to face against a known member of the community for that when that goes out on bidding. But it's gonna be great. Hopefully by then I'll have fully made it. I'll have a mansion. I'll have you know what I mean, a whole entire group of like waiters and waitresses that will
Keeping the
serve
expectations realistic
me. Yeah,
here,
that will
JayBee.
serve me rare foods. They'll all dress as Daphne, obviously, because that'll be the dress code for like Castle to JayBee and Millie. You know what I mean? And hopefully, then I can
I
just
don't want to
send
be
off.
associated with
I
it.
can just send off for this Luna Ghost. Like, please, fetch it for me. But yeah, I just think that that is going to be, if I can do this interview, that's one that I'm just going to like, not announce that it's happening because I don't know if it's happening. But that's going to be one that I'm going to actively announce that I want to try and set up. So that's cool. And then yeah, there's Nighttime Terror, which was the bonus kind of Lego episode. Goodness gracious me. And this made me feel old. There was a section called Vintage Cartoons. And there was like the Scooby Doo show with Scooby Doo and stuff, yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, that's pretty vintage. But then an episode of What's New Scooby Doo was on there.
No.
And that was in 2016.
Oh no!
And so when I saw that, I was like, holy, like, how come on our original podcast, 5-Star Talk, did I say to smASH, oh yeah, and like, oh, is What's New Scooby Doo still playing? Because that's the one that I remember. To find out that that was classed as vintage 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh no, that just made me age.
Me too. That actually makes me sad.
Oh, I'm glad I could make your evenings with that bit of information. Please.
I'm gonna have to talk to Warner Brothers and be like, excuse me?
I don't do that.
No. Anything in widescreen is not considered vintage, okay?
That's quite sad.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we are just getting a bit older. I feel old sometimes.
So is that it on your behind the scenes, your additional features?
Yeah, that's me. I mean, what I want to say is I love the effort that they put into it all, especially the Lego building, the interview, and not only that, because it's kind of been a thing before where if they've put effort into bonus features, like with the Kiss DVD, like with, what was the other one, Moon Monster Madness, they'd sacrifice the episodes as well. Whereas with this, they gave us the episodes and they gave us the bonus features. And in fact, in my eyes, these bonus features are everything that, what's it called? That the Mystery Maps bonus features should have been but weren't. Because they've tried something different. So the bonus features should be behind the scenes of that different thing. So yeah. Huge. I guess if I'm doing, yeah, double smash for the bonus features. Watch the bonus features.
Okay, so before we get on to the giveaway winner and that kind of thing, community news, JayBee, anything to note?
Can I ask you on Smash beforehand, please? Because I think my vocal cords need a rest. Even if there's nothing, I just need
okay, I'm going to say nothing. Smash community news from you?
I mean, it looks like we're all getting our Hex Girls Funko Pops.
Hey!
That's always exciting.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like, they're right in front of me now. And one thing that I really like is that this is the first ever Funko Pops we've got that have that little Hot Topic exclusive sticker on it. I don't know what other Hot Topic exclusive Pops that they've
Did they have to import it for you guys?
I think they do. Like, it's this
Oh.
double box toy, so they got it from the US and then they just like distribute it. Yeah, the only other place that you can get it is Pop Culture, which is imported from Australia. So
Oh.
it's not the easiest thing to get over here, but it's fantastic. And I love how they look. So I guess if you're in the UK and you've ordered from Double Box Toys, expect some Hex Girls any day soon. And they're definitely worth it. Right. Let me
You ready,
give some
JayBee?
community news.
Oh, so
right?
Grey DeLisle has added themselves to GalaxyCon.
That's exciting.
I don't want to talk about that.
JayBee paid for another service because she wasn't on GalaxyCon,
Yeah.
where you couldn't choose like whatever pen you wanted and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to like try and keep all his signatures universal with this blue pen, but because he wanted a Daphne signature, he sent it off. And yeah, she's just signed up for the one where you can like send your pens in and everything, so he's a bit upset. But community news.
It was
If you don't want to make JayBee's mistake, sign up through GalaxyCon.
Yeah, just it's for Avatar, I think. So there's a few people, but you can specifically choose to send an item off to Grey, or I think you can buy a pre-done Funko Pop, although I kind of want to say the Daphne Funko is rare to the point where you're not going to find one that's on the store, right? Because I think Daphne is quite rare at this point.
Yeah,
right?
their Funko is quite
Yeah.
rare. It's only really Shaggy and Scooby that's quite easily available.
But I guess more on that, we got a scrappy one.
Whoop, whoop.
That's good. I don't know if that's
Oh, that's
major
exciting.
news, but I love it, and it's got the Funko Shop limited edition sticker on it. I really want to get one day, Scott Ines or Scott Innes to sign it. I don't know where I'm gonna meet them or how I'm gonna meet them, but one day it's gonna happen. Or maybe they'll do a send-in thing. I know they've got a shop, but that's cool. And in terms of news, I think that's it. I guess there's an announcement that I want to make, and it's something that I'm gonna keep quite secret just because I'm so excited. This is, I think, the biggest unboxing for Scooby that we are ever going to do until the Lunar Ghost is gonna happen. I want to be like secretive on what it is, but I'm so excited. I was literally like
Can I
watching.
tell them the story?
Okay, as long as it doesn't give away what it is or what they are or what,
Right.
they're just I'm blown away.
Gonna be honest with you all, okay? This,
Oh, wait, are you
this
gonna-
is what we're dealing with JayBee.
Wait, are you gonna rumble my pee-pee?
I was just gonna say the story of how you acquired these things.
Oh, right, you can. But
So JayBee's been
boy.
watching something that's a bit of a Scooby collectible for a while now. And with import fees and everything, it was about like $400.
It's $555.
Okay, $500. And he decided they wanted it for Christmas, but if his mum knew it was a Scooby Doo collectible, she wouldn't back it. So he was like, I found this amazing collection of like rare books and stuff that's like $500. Like, can you help me out? And so she thinks there's this crate of like first edition special Stephen King books on the way. And it's some Scooby Doo collectibles.
That's amazing. That's the way to do it.
So they'll be unboxed. Well, I don't know that they will be unboxed. They'll be
They will
showcased.
definitely not be unboxed.
They will be showcased
They will be-
on the channel.
I'll unbox the box that they come in.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited. I think I might just have a heart attack there and then on the spot when like I see the box, because I know the box, and oh my gosh, like I have had these things on my eBay watch list for 6 months now, 5-6 months now.
Oh,
Like, it's mad. So yeah, look forward to a video footage of me collapsing onto the floor, because that's the type of thing we're gonna do. Other than that,
Okay, so
the next movie is Scooby Doo and WWE Curse of the Speed Demon, which I'm not looking forward to.
oh come on, the last like wrestling one wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but I've heard this is the weaker of the two.
Okay.
yeah.
And that
We'll
introduced
see
me.
how it goes.
That introduced me to that AJ, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I'm their biggest fan now.
Oh, are you?
What?
You've been watching wrestling?
I've watched many footage on YouTube.
Who's
Um,
AJ?
Well, you don't want to know. You don't want to
Okay.
know. We'll decide later.
Leave
you
that
know what I
there.
mean? So yeah, if you do want to hear about the giveaway, stick around and we will announce that. But other than that, oh sugar, I guess we can do this again now. So please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to JayBee and Millie and Smash. Where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. I am at Ashton Hardy _ and of course on YouTube at Smash.
Woo! So yeah, go check Smash's channels and social media out. Subscribe to him as well. And like JayBee said, time for the giveaway. Okay, everyone. So first we have the winners of the 2 common Space Coop Funko sodas. So they are going to be. Trying to get into the envelope. Okay, here we go. The first winner is Pops Mafia, and the question we asked is who you'd want to hang out with if you entered that kind of Scooby Natural Scooby universe, and they said Scooby and Shaggy. And then for the other common space cake, we have Samuel First, and they said they'd want to hang out with Fred.
So this has been the biggest giveaway we've ever done on the channel. We're gonna mix it up now. So yeah, huge congratulations to whoever this is.
Okay, so the winner of the chase is Zion Lynn, and they wanted to
Ooh.
hang out with Velma.
I really do appreciate everyone who entered. I don't know if we got enough entries to warrant doing another chase giveaway, to be honest. But if there is enough demand for it, we do have one more that we could give away, or we could try and get some more. I really don't know. I think it would take a lot of support and kind of backing behind that. But definitely we're not going to rule that out. So huge congratulations to everyone who was drawn today. Please like, comment and subscribe.
JayBee and Millie.
And for the winners, if you do want to email us or if you want to get in touch with us on any social media, our links are in the description.